The number one subject tonight, my friends, the number one subject, certainly here in New York and New Jersey, the number one subject is that of the drones. The drones. It is incredible. It is something that we have not seen in a while. It is incredible. I don't even know how to put it or to state this. It is absolutely incredible. And more importantly, this is still my favorite response so far. Squirrel, this is a distraction. Look for the real stories. Doug says psyop, meaning what? Don't know. But that's what we say. And instead of just looking and seeing, we say, we respond as to what it is. We know it is a response to, it is a psychological operation. It is false. It is something. We know these things. We are possessed of the knowledge by virtue of a sentience that cannot be explicated because we know these things. Do you not grasp how this thing works? We know these things. You can't pull anything on us. No, not at all. Not in the least. You cannot do this because we know it's a distraction. Now we're seeing there are drones in the UK, military bases at the UK, but we know it takes our attention away from Syria. Somebody actually wrote this. America doesn't give a shit about Syria. What are you talking about? The real story is you. Only you can miss what is happening here. And immediately come into this, well, it's, you don't know anything. I don't know anything. We are civilians. We are at home. We have a laptop. We have a phone. We have the internet. We don't know. Explain it differently. You don't know anything because they don't know anything. And you have got to ask yourself, how long do I keep manufacturing this feigned sense of I am aware of this because I am a conspiracist? I know these things. Is this Project Bluebeam? I don't think so. But it's interesting. I'd like people to know about them. If you and somebody actually said, this takes us off of Syria? Are you kidding me? Syria? Syria? Somebody actually thought this? Nobody knows anything. This is serious. And if the people who are really smart, if the people who are really smart are paying attention, they will know specifically and remember how we are reacting to this. My friends, before we begin, let me tell you something which is, I think, even more frightening. January what date was not the drill, The strike, January 15th, the 15th. And they're talking about that because one of the things we are talking about, which is most fascinating, is that they're talking about doing the drill, the strike again, the 15th. Listen to what I am saying before you opine about necessarily, drones taking our mind off of Syria, which is the funniest one ever. I promise you, you are going to need to have food stocked up. I don't know how to tell you. They are telling you, they are thinking, if you think we're going to hand over the keys to Trump and this is going to be smooth sailing, you are out of your mind. Preparewithlionel.com. Don't know how to say it any other way than that, my friends. Preparewithlionel.com. And there is a deal, a Christmas deal, which is 11 days away. That is the best ever. Now, you may think this is a distraction to keep your mind off of Syria or Aleppo or Idlib. I don't think so. Or Damascus. Or no. Preparewithlionel.com. I am telling you, when stores get closed and they're shut because of insurance reasons or crowd size or whatever the particular reason, you are going to say, thank you for reminding me of this. And while we're at it, our good friend Mike Lindell, they are trying to shut this poor guy down, and we are not going to let them. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. The absolute, the deals, the items, from pillows to towels, absolutely inexplicably immane. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, preparewithlionel.com. I love this. Let's talk about this. This is America. This is just so terrific. Look at this. Syria was an inside job, a script. Syria, Richard? Syria, do you think anybody cares about Syria? I'm just curious. Do you think anybody cares about Syria right now? Do you think? How about this? Do you like in America or white people land? What does this mean? This is where they're saying, look at these people. Look at the shite they are talking about. This is amazing. Fun with Dirt says, hey, Lionel, I recorded the news video that was removed by the news site 2 minutes after it was posted. It was a New Jersey drone being taken down by the residents. Posted it on my channel. Fun with Dirt. Do you see what's going on right now? Do you see what's happening? I want to suggest something to you. And let me see if you think about this. Look at this. Oh, I love this. We care about the State Department funding ISIS and Al Qaeda. Are you out of your mind? You were the turd in the punch bowl. Nobody cares about this. Let me tell you what this is. You ready for this? Okay. If I had to guess, I would not be surprised if there is something far more serious than what they're saying. And nobody's suggesting that at all. Because everybody's got their head up their ass talking about Syria. Johnny Maz says, the drone is C-19 Part 2 paranoia. It's working. We don't know this, John. We don't know this. Let me see if I can explain this to you. Let me see if I can explain this and stop this, okay? Tell me what this is. What is this? What is this? What is this? Tell me what this is. Anything? Anybody? You think this is tin foil hats? By the way, we haven't used tin foil in years. Do you think this is tin foil? This is the most incredible thing in the world. It's a plane. That's a plane. That's a plane. Somebody thinks, Fran says this is a plane. This is a plane. Hang on. This is a plane. It looks like a plane. Look at it. You serious? It's government drones. You don't know anything. Susan says you don't know anything. I don't know what this is. Susan, how do you know what this is? Daniel says, I like what Daniel said. Daniel says $10, which is fine. You don't know what it is. Where do you people get this expertise as to, well, that's the government. It's a psyop. This is what they're saying is, folks, don't worry about the planes. But pay attention to how Americans think they're so goddamn smart that they know everything, that they actually sit back. If we were attacked, this is the most incredible thing in the world. People have always said, what would we ever do if we were attacked by UFOs? And you know what we would do? Nothing. Nothing. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. People would say, we would sit around and say, well, it's a psyop. Well, it's obviously this is a distraction technique to take us off of Israel. And look at this. Stephen says, I know for sure not all that much. Stephen, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. I love the fact that nobody says, Katie finally says, what is it? We don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. Air Force not shooting them down because so they must be government sponsored. What? What? That the Air Force is not shooting. There's 50 of them. How are you going to shoot down? It's not like we had the weather balloon that was so high up. These are pretty low to the ground. How do you shoot something down and not have perhaps other people get hurt? Now, there is some technology where you can throw kind of like a net or something which gets it all. I am fascinated by you, not the drones. Everybody, this is the most incredible thing in the world. Shane says, I know nothing. Thank you, Shane Anderson. I know nothing either. What is this? Anybody? What is this? Let me try it again. This is a quick one. Does this look like a plane to you? Is that a plane? It's a plane? Now, come on, you're an expert. What is this? Is this a plane? What is this? What does that sound like to you? What is that? What is this? I look like a regular. What is that? Anybody? I love this. UFOs usually don't make drone sounds. How do you know? Now you know what UFOs sound like? Do you know what UFOs sound like? What do UFOs sound like? The level of expertise. Let me explain something to you. This is what you're missing. It's not the drones, it's the reaction. We could be attacked with lasers blowing things up, and you would say, well, it's definitely, I think it's a psyop. I think it's a Hegelian dialectic. I think what it is, it's most probably a response to it seems to me that you scare the hell out of me. You do. Not the drones, you do. This is where I actually want to be around people who are upset about this. This is not a joke. This is nothing. Oh, it's no big deal. 50 drones coming off the Atlantic. And now we have drones over, it was reported over Air Force bases in the UK. What if they are not telling you something and they really honestly don't know? And it's serious. You think they're going to tell you anything?
sized drones operating for hours in restricted airspace and able to elude local law enforcement when they send their own drones up to give chase. In New Jersey, the Army reporting the Picatinny Arsenal has had 11 unauthorized drone incursions in the last month.
Look what's back again. Same spot as last night.
21 local mayors now demanding answers from the state.
The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark. This is something we're taking deadly seriously.
The entire month before that, it was nightly drone incursions over Langley Air Force Base.
Let's just start with current events.
Today, a congressional hearing on Capitol Hill on the national security threat drones pose.
What is going on in New Jersey?
We're investigating, but I don't have an answer of who's responsible for that, of one or more people that are responsible for those drone flights.
But for those who see them on a nightly basis...
Not a plane. That is a drone in the airspace.
The drones are a very real reminder.
Almost hear a little bit of a hum.
That our airspace...
It's a very little thermal signature.
...is not as secure as we might hope.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is the most incredible story I will ever be able to tell my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. It's like the drones of 2024, they just... amazing. Absolutely, simply amazing. Is there anybody, if you are not alarmed, not by what they are, but what appears, how this doesn't make any sense, you're not paying attention. Everybody loves to say, well, I'm going to go on these chat shows and I'm going to be funny. It's a distraction. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what I say. See, I'm a big time conspiracy theorist. Yeah. I know these things. HARP, Storm Fury, the Liberty. I know that Liberty. I know all this stuff. Yeah. And what I do is I sit back and I don't know shit, but I just love to pretend like I know what's going on. I know what's going on. And get this, I was on one the other night, and somebody actually had the unmitigated temerity to suggest that this was somehow a distraction from Syria. There's like two people, I think, within 1,000 miles from here who can spell Syria. But they're yeah, okay. Daniel says, I knew GE picked up SCOTUS in Camelback, Arizona, Bohemian Grove, Carl Sagan, Buzz Aldrin, Edgar Mitchell, Rancho Santa Fe, Joan, Ray Kroc, La Jolla song, we're nothing to it all. We're nothing to it all, yet we pay their control of us. Wow. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Unbelievable. Tinfoil. There is no tinfoil. By the way, where can I find tin foil? Anybody? No. Get ready for this one. This is like Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. Sort of, except people are laughing. People are laughing. They're laughing. They're laughing. There is no, nobody's, we don't care. America is the story. Whether it's, we left. America will sit there and say, okay, you want us to take what? You want us to be, vaccinated or tattooed or whatever it is, or pay taxes or stand on this and whatever you want us to do. Stay inside, go outside, don't go outside. Okay, whatever you want. That's what America does. We just sit back and we just take it. We just take it because it's just, and then when 50, we can't, there's not even even President Trump, The answer is very simple. Send Elon Musk there. If Elon Musk says, I'll find out. Oh, no, Elon. No, I'll do it. They got 50, we got 1,000 drones. We will come up with a drone to drone, and we'll figure this thing out. But nobody's doing anything. That's the question. Why Monkey says, saw a video on X that looked like a drone getting sucked into a plane engine, had to do emergency landing. We're talking about this as well in, I think it was LaGuardia, they talked about that. And they're worried about duck or geese rather flying into it. Nobody is worried. Is anybody concerned about this? Is anybody, I mean, not where you're going to, slit your wrist or anything, but I mean, does anybody feel at all like this is serious stuff here? This is really serious. Anybody feel like this? No. None. This is an example to the rest of the world. This is the way we act. This is the way we're acting. And this is the way we handle things in the event of something like this. Warren Ocasio says, the government that can determine how often you flush your toilet can't tell us where the drones are coming from. Impossible. I cannot explain it. Thank you for this. There's something that's wrong with it. And it's not wrong in that the government, how do I say this? There are too many people who are actually being told, we're not going to tell you. And they are going out of their way to laughingly remind you they don't know. Evan Webb says, yes, Lionel. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Don't know what that means. Yes, I like this. Catherine says, yes, concerned, but people keep telling me I'm too paranoid and conspiracal. I like that. How can you, first of all, how can anybody tell you you're a conspiracal or a conspiracist or a conspiracy theorist when you're seeing drones and they're telling you? The sheriff of Orange County, New Jersey is saying, I don't know what it is. We encountered 50 of them. I sent my own drone up and it could not lock in or take a picture. There was no heat signature. He said this. He's not a crazy man. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not distracting you from anything. The issue, again, is not, and it's how the smart people, the ones, the normies, so to speak, they're actually reacting correctly. And the smart ones, the ones who are, in our group, we're the ones who are walking around with their head up our ass saying, it's no big deal. Linda Hazlitt, as I'm scared. Well, I'm not scared, but I'm concerned. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. Thank you, Cisco. Kaz, thank you, Kaz. There is a thing here. Do you remember when when it was this thing called 9/11? Remember there was a day, it's called 9/11, September the 11th. You may have heard about it. And people at first didn't know, where is this going to end? Building 1, Building 2, Pentagon, Shanksville, whatever that was. Somebody sent me, I love when you wonderful people send me videos that are so stupid. You've got to see this. Please tell me you're going to see this. One of the most stupid videos of them all is this Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer. Oh my God. Oh my God. This guy's just making stuff up. Well, it's a higher consciousness. You see, they're meeting. There is a 3-lettered organization that is meeting at a top level, and they are issuing with, excuse me, where did you get this up? Well, I'm making this up. I have no idea. Were you a part of this? No, I just know this, that there is this high level organization of people who were in the various three-lettered organizations. And they have these various convocations and consortia, these covens, in which they organize and deal with a retrofitted. He just makes this shit up, and he is the most operation. What do you call it? Operation Disclosure. You got that? Andrew Hessing says sonar on a submarine can hear a dolphin fart in Miami while it's in the middle of the Atlantic. Satellites galore. We don't know. Come on, people. Well, the thing is that it seems to me a plausible one might be literally not to let people know. Now, when Trump says shoot it down, let's talk about that. How many people think shoot it down? Excuse me, shoot it down. It's a drone. Yeah. You know those things, those webbed, they're like nets. You send them up there and they kind of spread out. They kind of spread out like this. And they become, like there's these nets. And it gets all caught up in the thing and the rain comes down. Bring it down. I don't want to hear this. There are three people who are full of shite. Number one is this Stephen Greer. I think it's Stephen Greer. Discovery or Disclosure Project. He just makes this, and they want to send us a message. Excuse me, who? They want to. How do you know this? Did you talk to them? No, Wait a minute, what are you talking about? Stephen Greer. Well, I just want you to know that wait a minute. Why do you think they're nice people? Do you think they're nice people if they're here? I don't know. I'm not putting any money on it. Why would they want to be nice? We're not nice to animals or things that we catch. Stephen Greer, shut up. Here's the next jadrul. This douche is the worst. You know who that is? Your friend, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is so compromised, spent, owned. He's like a two-bit slattern they picked up at the Port Authority. They have their way with him. I don't know what kind of goods they have of him. Maybe it was he had some kind of little dalliance problem years ago and they cleaned it up and now they owe him. I don't know. But they always drag his ass out there to make a joke about it. He says, well, I don't know about you. And he's on with that frown lady, the woman who looks like she's in the middle of the worst Bezor anybody's seen. Edie Crowley says, Greer led a group communing with aliens. Oh, he's out of his mind. He just makes this stuff up. And he, of course, will go, oh, I got 9 million subscribers. Uh-huh. Yep. If I had a picture of a person basically relieving himself and hitting a shot glass from a 10-story window, that would get 1 million views. Not that it's worthwhile, but people would say, I want to see that. So anyway, so you got Greer over here. He's out of it. And he just makes stuff up. And the reason why is that around 1947, they all the aliens. The aliens, yes. The aliens realized they were trying to kill each other, yes. And they were sending us a message. Yes, they were sending us a message. And the message was what exactly? Well, the message was that we have to stop, trying to kill each other. And wait a minute, where did you get this from? Well, it started right after we dropped the atomic bomb. So they came here to tell us to knock it off because they love us. Well, obviously, he just makes up this la la land, this where they're all good people. He's just making it up. It's like Gene Roddenberry. Now, on the other end, I mentioned is Neil deGrasse Tyson. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, along with Frown Lady, the woman with a frown who looks like she's in the middle of a painful, gesture. She always looks like she's in pain. Caitlin, whatever her name is. The name Caitlin. You got Clark and Collins, and both of them, you can have them. Anyway, as they're talking, as he's doing his thing, he says that he can't really speak on behalf of aliens. But why would they want to come to New Jersey? This was his response. This was Mr. Harvard, Mr. Hayden Planetarium. This is the genius. This is a guy who wants, this is his thing. Why would they want to come to New Jersey? Why would they want to come to New Jersey? This was his, he was sent out to dispel this, to laugh at people. So we got Greer over here who's making shit up about, I don't know what, about how they're our friends. You got DeGrasse Tyson over here, who he doesn't even, I don't even know what he's talking about. It's all a joke. It's all a joke. That's a guy on one of my team. You got 50 SUV size. This is a Buick with propellers on it coming over out of the Atlantic. And you've got the Ocean County Sheriff scared out of the bejesus. And numbnuts over here, Neil deGrasse Tyson, oh, they came to Jersey. He's laughing. I mean, I don't get it. And then we have this other guy who says, no, don't shoot them down. Why? Oh, Title 18, whatever. Excuse me. Wait a minute. I'm not talking about merely seeing, that pesky neighbor kid. Why I oughta. He's got that damn thing up there, and he's got that damn, that thing up there. He's drives crazy with that buzzer, driving me crazy with it. Why I'm going to show him a thing or two. Honey, fetch me my Remington. Boom. Okay. That could be a problem. Trespasorial. As somebody said, some of these big drones have lithium diode or whatever these batteries that could catch on fire and explode. And dear God, I don't know. But here is the answer. You've got 50 of them coming out over Atlantic. You're having the shite scared out of people. Get it done. White Monkey says, interesting show just come on Netflix about an alien invasion. They use technology, cell phones against us, called Three-Body Problem. Interesting. I do not believe in Seoul, by the way, says also being spotted in Germany and the UK. Yes, indeed. Near our bases. Yes. Now, I don't know about you. But I don't think this is funny or any of this stuff. And I know got a lot of these amateur comedians here. It's really bad because the only thing they know how to do is to kind of joke about it, kind of make a joke. But what's interesting to me and what I'm seeing happening right now is that the implications of this are incredible. And what I don't understand folks doing, maybe you can explain this to me, is I don't understand how people aren't recognizing the fact that, it's not good for our enemies to see us act like this. It's not good. And for no other reason than just a PR reason, it's not a good idea to have our enemies say, did you see the way they reacted? They didn't do anything. Let me see if I can tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is your president speaking. I am your president. And I want you to know a couple of things. Number one, I am telling you that I've just signed an executive order, or whatever you want to call it. And this executive order says the following. If you unleash 50 drones, 50 across our shores, we will immediately shoot them down. Do you understand that? Do we make ourselves clear? I've just signed an order, okay? I've just signed an order, and we are not going to allow this. Susan Walters, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Susan. I've just signed an order. Now, I'm not suggesting people should go out and do it themselves, But as Spandex says, when I was 16 years old, and according to my old man, when are you getting a job? I delivered pizzas. One could ID me as a drone. One could ID me as a drone. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, and I want to. I really want to know what that means. Are you saying you were a drone because you like delivered pizzas? What does this mean? I don't understand this. Now, first and foremost, let's cut all this crap away. Number one, I'm the president. Watch this. We got them all. We are not going to allow a team, a squadron of 50. We are going to presume it as trespassorial. Do you know what that means? Do you know what a trespass is? Trespass is that when you do not have permission or license to be someplace. Did you know that? It's true. Where you don't have a license to be someplace. That's all it means. Did you know that sometimes, and I love watching these shows on TV. I just think they're hysterical. Or on YouTube, where they will say, "Excuse me, you've been trespassed." What? That means that the people at the Quickie Pep or the whatever it is, or the bodega or the Wawa, they want your ass out of here. Why? They don't have to give you a reason. But what did I do? They don't have to give you a reason. Your license to be here has been revoked. You are not a license. You are not an invitee. And by the way, in law, you can be an invitee, you can be a business invitee, you can be, and trespass, depending upon, do you owe any duty of care to trespassers? And the answer is no. But you can't set traps and things like that. It's very interesting when you trespass on somebody's land and they fall into a hole and you didn't have any warning that there was this hole. Some jurisdictions would say, "Excuse me, you were trespassing. I don't owe you any duty." Others would say, "Well," and then we get into the attractive nuisance, which is really weird. This is when kids are attracted. Anyway. So we're going to say from now on, this is trespass. This is trespass. You are trespassing over, and you know this, right? You know the ad caelum doctrine? This is a little common law for you. Let's say this calculator, this represents the ground. This is the ground. And on your property, you will below it. You own below it, mineral rights and the like. And then you are an owner of everything above that. To the heavens ad caelum, or coelum, if you really want to get into classical Latin. And that's why sometimes you can sell air rights and you have easements, and it's really interesting. This is property law. So you've got mineral rights. You can also have riparian rights. If you abut a river, you have, or a lake or some kind of body, you have the rights of the shore, the riparian rights, littoral, Littor, the shore, and there's all this. Real property is a great subject. Great, very interesting, especially personal property. Lost, misplaced, trespassed, and then even. If you go into a restroom, let's say in public, you go to the ladies' room, men's room, wherever the hell it is, and you see there's a ring there with soap around it. There's a ring. You can probably think this was misplaced. You don't really have access to it. This wasn't abandoned property. Is it lost? Is it abandoned? Okay. What I'm trying to say is you've never thought about trespass in your life. It's never crossed your mind. If I fly over, if I'm across, we in New York, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, the hottest radio show, Will Hicking's Rock and Roll Adventure, every Sunday from 5 to 7. Tune into Will Hicking's Rock and Roll Adventure, where we go back in time and hear songs from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Not the 1950s or the 1960s or the 1970s, but the 50s. Is it 50 AD, really old. People hitting logs, skins of animals, howling. Anyway, it's Will Hicking's Rock and Roll Adventure on 91.7 WPCR and Live 365. It's a tremendous show. Thank you, Will. Good luck to you, brother. Anybody still in the biz, okay? But let me go back to this. Let me ask you a question. Now listen to me. Let's say you, because you live in here in New York, you can look. We can look across the street and we can see. Oh look, there's a neighbor. People have windows open. You have no idea. And let's say I get a binoculars or a telescope and I'm looking across. And somebody says, "Hey, is that guy looking at me?" Yeah, they call the police. Am I violating any laws? Andrew Hessing says, missed one of my comments. Anyway, nice to see 1% of that black budget and Uncle L for Prez. Well, damn it, Andrew, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Andrew Hessing, by the way, we're going to get to Andrew. Andrew makes a lot of sense, Andrew. Where is Andrew? There we go. Here's Andrew. He says, and Greer has classes how to contact first level starts at $25,000. Oh my God. How to contact first level? Oh dear God. Listen, God bless him. If that works for him, go ahead. It's insanity. I'm not suggesting that there aren't people there. I just don't think this is a way to do it. In any event. So let's go back. Call the police. Is it trespassing if I look and see across? If I have a telescope and I can see you right there, and I look at you, is that peeping Tom or voyeurism or whatever the hell it is? No, it's open view. Just because I have so what? You have no expectation of privacy. You got the windows open. You're right there. All right, that makes sense to you? Yes. Now, better yet, I take my little drone and I fly it over there. And now you're undressing or whatever it is. And outside, you see this little drone outside your window and it's filming you. Is that okay? What's the difference? Telescope versus a drone. I've got to do some research on that, but I would think that might be a little bit more intrusive because it basically, by virtue of it did it trespass? It's hard to say. I don't know because it's not the air. I understand above and above, but I don't know. I got to look at it because remember, technology and the law always lies behind technology. All right. Now let me give you another one. This is even easier. Let's say your daughter is sunbathing, not nude, but just sunbathing. And I take my drone and I fly over your property and I zoom in on your daughter, just not nude, but just sunbathing. Is that okay? Am I trespassing? I sure as hell think you are. I think you're trespassing. I'm on your property. I've invaded your property. Can you shoot my drone? Nope. Statute says can't do it. I think you can. Because I think it's almost I am destroyed. Now, there may be a problem with, and by the way, this is my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I'm giving legal advice, but I am saying that shooting may be against the law, irrespective of why you do it. Do you hear what I'm saying? They might say you can't discharge a firearm in public, period. But I think that's a different story. Now, short of that, a battalion, a squadron of 50, an armada of 50 drones come flying out of the Atlantic, crossing over. I don't know what they're doing. They're just flying around. And I'll go a step further. If you fly around an airport, they take on, to me, the same category as that of a goose or a duck or some kind of mallard or which could get sucked up into the engine of a plane. They shoot those out of the sky all the time. So we're going to have to figure this thing out. And if all of a sudden, over there in Orange County, you started hearing and people say, hey, and by the way, remember, be very careful. What comes up must come down. So you might think it's funny, I'm going to get a rifle or shoot this thing out. Shotgun is a little different story, but that comes down. So some poor leaf collector in Monmouth County might be saying, oh, look, a sapling, and then again, it gets hit by a 30-06. So we don't want anybody shooting. But if all of a sudden the problem, however you want to call it, was immediately rectified, I would then say, who's complaining? Look at this drone, open it up. What is in it? Tell me. And again, I can get this fixed immediately by getting, this is important, by getting Elon Musk, get his ass down there immediately. Elon Musk will take care of it immediately. Do you hear what I'm saying? He would get to the bottom of this. Notice how Vivek Ramaswamy, nobody cares about him. He's like, I'm in front of the Dover show. Yeah, okay. Okay, Vic. Soul says, Don Fantasia, who was briefed by Homeland Security, drones up to 6+ feet in diameter, lights switch on and off. What about Dawn Fantasia, who was briefed by Homeland Security? I guess, are you saying she says this? Drones up to 6 feet, light switch on and off. Yeah, okay. By the way, these are not some of the best copywriters for news stories. Are you saying that she said this? That she... Anyway, it's very interesting. She and others. Where's Bill Spadia? Where's everybody? This is Jersey. See, Jersey, remember where the Hindenburg was? Jersey. The Lindbergh kidnapping? Jersey. First baseball game? Jersey. War of the Worlds? Jersey. Tony Soprano, right? The Housewives, tough, Jersey. They're not acting the way I think Jersey would act normally. They're rather tepid. If you think about this, have you noticed this? I don't understand this. Now, let us redo this. Let us review. But first, before we do this, let me remind you of something that should also scare the living hell out of you. A very, very, very scary thing. And that is the number of people, including Gen Zers and others, who are absolutely up to their neck in debt. So listen carefully. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me see if we can do this. This is what I would do, and I don't understand. Again, remember, we are standing outside of this, and we don't know anything because nobody's told us anything. But this is the most important thing. Andrew, by the way, says, on the money, these things have IC boards and chips, batteries, etc. We find out who and where, nowhere to hide once that's done. Oh, I think anybody can look at this. And that doesn't mean that, by the way, we haven't already done this. Now, remember, a couple of things here. Number one, let us be logical. This is not random. This is not a bunch of schoolyard punks. This is legitimate. This is deliberate. These they are of all different types. Number one, they are of all different sizes, and they are not made in any way to be stealth-like. They are meant to scare and perturb. If I am going to go and if I am Iran or Iran, and it is my goal to try to find something out, maybe around Bedminster, maybe around Mendham, whatever the reason is, I am not going to send 50 of them. And they're all lighted. Why are they all lighted? Can you tell me this? Why is there a light on them? Can you help me with this one? If I have a good drone, they fly so high with such incredible optics. What is the purpose? Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. What is the purpose of this? Why are they lighted? Why did they come across? Oh, look at this. They're like orbs. What is the purpose? Now, the reason, Eliza Krogan says, to draw attention. Okay, very good. So the first thing you got to do is remember the reason why UFOs are lighted is because of plasma. That was the reason why. That the idea was that when they are in certain, I don't know what that word, certain orbit levels, certain, who knows, energy fields, that light is like static electricity, sort of, that's reason. Now, so the idea is, and you bring up a very good point. To me, there are a lot of drones, stealth drones, that don't have a light on it. So these they want you to see this. So, and they want to send different shapes, different sizes, different forms, all of them propeller-like, not all of them big, a lot of them big. And they want them to be all at one time to apparently freak you out. Andrew Hessing says, their light up cause their looks for Greer. Okay. Again, what language this is, I have no idea, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, he's a UFO plasma expert. No. What I have heard, people said Stanton Friedman, remember him, Mr. Smartass? Remember him? No, of course not, because they have talked about what he believes was the reason. He is a physicist, about why they have this glow. Did you know too? No, you probably didn't know this. That flying saucers, when they hover here this way, but when they actually fly, it's this way. Did you know that? Did you know that? No, of course not. No, because I'm an expert on this. I remember what people have said when they've hypothesized. It's very simple. So let's go back to what I'm saying. They obviously want you to see this and to know, and they probably know you're not going to marvel at this in rapt attention. You're going to be somewhat scared and dismayed. That's the reason why. So this is deliberate. They're not doing anything. They're not shooting anything. They're not armed. They could very easily be armed. They could drop ordnance. They're not doing that. They're not shooting anybody. They're not going low and turning lights on and nothing. They're just kind of there. They're there and then they go away. And the best part is, where do they go? We don't know. Next point. Isn't it funny that we have yet to see a really great, I think with one, but a really great close-up view? Anybody of this? Do you know why? Null, do you know that? Monk from Philly, Soul, Marissa, Johnny Hall, anybody know this? Let me ask you again. We have very few really good pictures of devices and the like. Skeptic, by the way, says, I thought I was the only one that thought that Stephen Greer was full of BS. Thank you for telling everybody the truth about him. Just listen to him. Just listen. And then people like Patrick Ben David and others say, what are you talking about? This is this screwy thing. He knows what they think and he knows what? I'm only going on observation. I know what somebody thinks. I love when people, in fact, Van Donovan will probably get a kick out of this. Ultra might. Kim Lansing might get a kick out of this. I like when people say, well, why would they want to interview some farmer in the middle of like, what, you sound like DeGrasse Tyson. Why is it that, how do you know what they find interesting? How do you know what they find interesting? How? Why don't they want to talk to us? Why don't they? I don't even stray that far. I have no idea. I try to answer people because they want us to judge and gauge the motivation of these people. And what I've said repeatedly is, well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been driving on the road and you pull over and you see an anthill? And you get out of the car and you get down on all fours, you're up on your belly, and you go up to the ants and you explain to them fusion, nuclear fusion. You ever do that? No, probably not. So maybe aside from people not wanting to, quote, talk to us, maybe they might want to observe. I don't know. I'm not Stephen Greer. I don't know why. I don't know why they... But this is UFO talk. This is different. This isn't a UFO. We know what this is. It's a drone. It's not an unidentified flight. It's an unidentified owner, but we know what it is. It's a drone. So it's not a UFO. It's who are these people and where are they coming from? And that's what. Now, next question. Do you believe the government doesn't know what's going on here? Do you believe the government doesn't know? No. Don't tell me the government doesn't know. The government does know. So is the government lying? Yes. How many times does the government not know something, know something, but doesn't think it wise to pass it on to us? Anything come to mind any time recently where the government kind of knew some stuff, maybe didn't let us know? Anything come to mind? Any incidents, any things where the government kind of knew some bad stuff were happening, but decided not to tell us? Anybody? Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? The idea that people don't know, Air Force bases don't know, the idea that somebody, and the very idea that somebody like a Phil Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, literally was told, we're not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you. We don't know. Do you think he would sit there and say, oh, okay? You don't think he would say, now listen, if you want this to be top secret, that's fine. I think I have a clearance or something, but tell me. No, Phil, we really don't know. Excuse me. Hey, Dawn Fantasia, We really don't know. The first thing I would do is I would be on my, and I don't know if she's done it or anybody else has done this, but I would be in front of everybody on my X platform and say, here's what they're telling me. And remember this, I'm telling you so that when I run for office, you remember I did this. And the person not telling us is Phil Murphy. He's the woke Democratic lunatic who wants to destroy New Jersey. Next, President Trump, send Elon Musk there. Why is Elon so quiet? Why is he not saying anything? Elon talks about everything. Elon goes everywhere. Elon does stuff he can't wait to. He wants people to work 80 hours a week and not get, he is going crazy. Why doesn't Elon get in and say, I'll get to the bottom of this? Because as soon as he does, why? Because either he knows he's a part of it or just doesn't want to for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. And I can come up with reasons, not that each one is plausible. But don't tell me nobody knows who they are. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. So when Mayorkas tells somebody from CNN, when Kirby tells somebody from the Pentagon that they don't know, they're lying. So this is what happens. Remember, the bottom line is this. Folks, this is what happens when we lie to the country. If all of a sudden over the Atlantic there was a balloon the size of Montana, we could do the same thing because you're not going to say anything. Spandex says, wow, it has come this far. They, them are letting we peeps know that they, them are capable of reducing our carbon footprint anytime their whim hits them. What you say, if you can? Our carbon footprint. I don't know what that means. I think what they're saying is, we don't have to tell you anything. We didn't have to tell you who killed Kennedy. We don't have to tell you anything about 9/11. We didn't tell you anything about that incident we went through. We don't have to tell you about anything about the human predation, whatever, of children. We don't have to tell you anything about fentanyl. We don't have to tell you anything about how many people are coming into the country. We don't have to tell you anything. We don't have to tell you anything because we don't care about you. You mean nothing to us. You hear what I'm saying? You mean absolutely nothing to us. And because people are not marching, there's nobody going in front of City Hall. You got some lone sheriff out there. What about all the bigwigs? What about Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi and all the people who live in New Jersey? Nobody's saying anything. You are being, quote, invaded by battalion squadrons of drones, and you're not saying anything. Bradley Sanders says Biden auctioning off the wall. Yep, we saw that the other day. Horrible, horrible. It's not Biden, it's his people. Biden doesn't know anything about it. Biden, it's one of the benefits of having somebody who is brain dead is you don't have to worry about it anymore. So understand, bottom line is simply this. They know it. They're not telling this. And I would tell Dawn Fantasia or Phil or anybody for that matter, or the sheriff, you don't understand something. They're not telling you. Do you believe them? No. So they're lying to you. Yes. Say it. Don't say they're not telling you. Say they're lying to you. Because they know. Somebody somewhere. The other day we were talking, in fact, last night at this party, and I said, do you believe that Israel, Mossad or Shin Bet or whoever the hell, didn't know anything about October the 7th? Do you think there's any possibility? They said, absolutely not. But they lied to you. Yeah. And you knew that. Yeah. And you know that. So why is Israel pretending to have you think that you believe that they knew nothing about something they were planning on for 2 years and they know everything? So, as an example, they lie to you and they want you to accept their lie and to not push it. Linda says, agree completely. Thank you, Linda. So just the way it is. So as I told my friend, so Israel, BB and others are lying to you. They're saying, we had no idea Hamas was going to pull this. So they're lying to you. Yes. And you know that. Yes. And you don't care. You're not upset, but they're lying to you. Yes. When Fauci said he didn't know all this stuff, he's lying to you. Yes. And you don't care about that. Jim Jordan doesn't care. John Kennedy doesn't care. Nobody cares. When they told you that they had no idea that maybe there was a conspiracy behind the assassination of John Kennedy, especially after they knew about that bullet in the front window, they're lying to you. Yeah, but you didn't do anything, did you? No. And Oliver Stone can do this. But the bottom line is, when it comes to America, you don't have to tell them anything. And the funniest one was, somebody's laughing. We had flotillas of drones coming off the Atlantic, kind of like this mothership sort of theory. And these people went apeshit. They were going crazy. And finally, News Nation has something to talk about, because they don't have to, actually think about anything. They can go on there and just talk about it. And they're talking to people. Well, I'll tell you what, this thing is, what the hell's going on here? And they always have that MOS, a man on the street. What do you think, sir? I'll tell you what, I always have to have some rube explain to me and explicate and focus the attention of the story, because I wouldn't be able to understand it without this scintillating laser-like evaluation. It's incredible. So let me tell you again. They know, and they're lying to you, and they're lying to our elected officials, who themselves aren't saying. They're lying. And whether it's whoever it is, they're not telling you, they're lying to us. They even cover for themselves. So that's the thing. Number two, nobody does anything. We're not doing anything. You're not doing. It's great to talk about, but this is the test. War of the Worlds, it's like if I told Orson Welles, or H.G. Wells for that matter, interesting. If I said, in 2024, you know what people will do? Because we're able to talk about it so much, we take the fear and we direct it towards social media gibberish and that sort of thing. Whereas before, if we didn't have it, we would have to keep all this fear inside and maybe go crazy. But we don't go outside. We don't care. We'll talk about it forever. You could have actual, like flamethrowers firing on parts of Jersey. They could take Rutt's hut out, with a blast of whatever. And you know what you would do? Nothing. You'd be talking about it. Alex Jones would be talking about it. They'd talk about everything there was, but nothing would happen. And the other, if I said, hey, Xi Jinping, yes, what would you do if this was you? We don't do this unless we're doing the surveillance, and nobody's going to say anything. Is there a possibility that any foreign country could surveil you? No. What about you, Putin? No. America looks like an idiot. And the reason why we look like an idiot is because the same reason why we look like an idiot for everything else. We just take this stuff. And no matter what it is, BLM, notice how quiet they are. They're waiting. We sat back and we went through COVID mania, BLM, crime. We don't do anything. We talk a bunch of bullshit. We don't do anything. We'll talk about it. Elected officials, meaningless. Well, I don't know. I went and I said, by God, I demand you be here. Any answers? No. No. That's the bottom line. And then one day, it might be tomorrow, might be Monday, they're gone. Nobody will follow up on it. They'll just be gone. It'll be another story. And nobody will happen. And then you're going to hear people like, there's a lot of stuff I heard on, there was a Reddit thing that they're actually doing this to check for poison gas because of January the 20th and January the 20th. And what are they doing in Jersey? If it's over there, yeah, but still. And there's going to be always somebody somewhere who does it. I love the hypotheses. Then, of course, there's the Neil deGrasse Tyson, who basically they bring his ass out there just to deflect your attention, just deflect. I would tell you because I'm an astrophysicist, and if there's anything to worry about, he's not even a spook. He doesn't work for the government. He's not like he's not a CIA or he's just a hack. He's a reliable, stooge, just a proxy who goes out there and tries his best to assuage the fears as CNN desperately grapples for relevance. In any event, dear friends. Linda Hazlitt, thank you. Bradley Sanders, Spandex, Skeptic, Andrew Hessing, Cisco Kid, Soul 76 Can, and I said to Andrew, Will Hickings Rock and Roll, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Susan Walters, White Monkey, thank you. Edie Crowley, Kaz, let me see, Evan Webb, Warren Ocasio-Cortez, Null Hypothesis, ladies and gentlemen, always there for the piquant reference and exposition. Daniel, thank you. Let me see who else is there. Shane Anderson, Stephen Ross, and Johnny Maz Spaz. We love you immensely. Incredible. I will be putting up, I was on this evening with the lovely and talented Sean Atwood. And we talked about this. And I had him laughing so hard. He was going into paroxysmal spasms and fits of uncontrollable histrionics, chortling, cachinnation, and gobs of guffaws. And that will be up as well. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Critical. Don't forget our sister network, Lionel Legal. We will be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. It's Sunday. We'll do 9. Have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much. Remember, believe nothing. Absolutely nothing except me. And it's not the answers. It's the questions that matter. All right, dear friends. Have a great and glorious night. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Da-da.